Hello and welcome to Between Sets with Church. Today's guests, you know the names, you've seen the faces. They are Kill Death Radio. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. I know you guys had a fairly busy night last night.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit more about your second show, and we'll talk a little bit about your first show as well. How did the show go? It was in Newmarket?
Yeah, it was in Newmarket. It was great to kind of get out and travel the world, so to speak. down to 400.
Simcoe County?
Yes. It went very well. It was well received. It was a great show. Lots of people out.
Stacked with Barrie bands.
Stacked with Barrie bands. All the other bands were fantastic.
Bigfoot's Hand.
Bigfoot's Hand.
Dead Mechanics.
Yep.
And GFU.
So it was a great bill. A lot of fun, and it went really well.
Yeah, good turnout there?
Good turnout,
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Let's talk about a little bit about the beginnings of the band, because we briefly chatted outside a little bit about that, but it went back a lot further than I had thought, even prior to Chris. You want to tell us a little bit more about you as to the beginnings?
Back to the Fox days when Aaron he used to run the open jam nights on Wednesdays. So Phil and myself, we'd go out a lot and go jam. We always loved jamming with Aaron and how open he was, how free. Yeah, that was it. It was my favorite jam in Barrie because you could just go up and say to Aaron, let's play in a key.
That's true.
And just go nuts. So Phil and I went down to go see a friend's band at the Queens one night, and we saw Aaron, and we started chatting and got together and talked about jamming. Finally, we went out for Phil's birthday for drinks, and
That's when I ran into you guys, right?
and we kind of started jamming at the old JSN location, and we're just like, I think there might be something here.
Nice.
And we decided we wanted to pull in another guitar player. So asked Chris if he wanted to come in, and it just kind of clicked once we all got in the room together.
Truth be told, I kept saying no, but they kept begging, and finally I was like, all right, I'll show up. And
we saved up a lot of money and gave it to him, and
it all worked out.
Turn down cash.
You can't
Especially when it
turn
comes from
down
a paper
cash.
route.
So please start buying our merch
Yes.
because we need to keep paying
Not in this
Chris.
economy. Yeah, just go.
So the band's basically there. How did you guys find bringing all your different experiences and taste in music together? Because I know, especially
fun.
Aaron.
Yeah.
It was fun to
need-
work with people, not just like different tastes or genres, but like the backgrounds of like where you had your band. You guys had plenty of bands actually. You were the most experienced, I think.
Well, Phil's played for every single band in Barrie.
Yeah, almost.
And if you're a band in Barrie that hasn't had Phil in your band, don't worry. In the next few years, Phil will be.
Eventually it happens.
It happens.
But it was all around just fun at first, and that's
Yeah.
what kept us together, I think, because we
Yeah.
would come here and we would let loose a bit, maybe have a smoke or something.
Everybody gets along really well.
Yeah.
And the sharing of ideas was great. We're all from extremely different backgrounds musically, I think, but it seems to have meshed into something, our own kind of sound. It took us a month or two to kind of figure out our sound, but then songs just started flying. The writing process has been very, very easy with these guys.
Yeah, I was going to ask
Yeah.
about that actually. Is how does that work? Do you work kind of a democratic thing where everyone
Very democratic.
Yeah, very democratic.
and
Aaron
brings
comes
in
in with
his
an idea,
Yeah.
finishes it off
And then-
kind of a thing? Yeah.
and we kind of bounce ideas off. But
And everybody's open.
Structure.
I think I always have something, in the pocket, and then after if we go through our set a couple times, it's like, you want to try this, and then test the waters, right? If it's not
Yep.
that day, maybe tomorrow or the next week or whatever. But
And then everybody adds their ideas. Phil will say, "Oh, what if we did this?" And Jay will say, "What if we had a little breakdown with this?"
and then we try everything.
And we try
all
everything.
the suggestions just to make sure that we do, give everyone, that opinion.
equal say and
yeah.
lots of equal opportunity in terms of the songwriting, and everybody has great ideas, and everybody's been in so many bands, so everybody brings a lot to the table in terms
well, I
of
was going to
experience.
say, because it's kind of cool, because I've heard Jimmy Stone over the years,
Yep.
and Dead
Played with
Silence, of
us
course,
sometimes.
and yeah. I didn't say how many years, but it's yeah. and of course with Jay and everything. So yeah, I can kind of hear how it kind of morphs into the sound that you have now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
Well, I think it's great because sometimes Aaron will bring ideas that one of us wouldn't have thought of, and then one of us will bring ideas that Aaron wouldn't have thought of necessarily. And so it's a good mesh because I feel like we're also, it's not only fun, but we're learning from each other.
That's good. As a family.
As a family.
Recently, you guys were in the studio not that long ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Just a couple
tell me a
weeks.
little bit more about where you recorded, how the recording went?
Who was? It's Jesse Junction, right?
Yeah,
Thread Junction Studios, that's right.
downtown, yeah.
Yeah.
The old power plant.
Yeah.
He's
And he's got a
Great.
beautiful setup now. He's really put a lot of money into it. He was a lot of fun to record with.
great.
Yeah, great
Very
to work
relaxed
with.
atmosphere. We did 2 songs and they came out great.
Which two did you go with?
We went with Before and Grohl.
Okay.
Which is sometimes also called Sound the Alarm. That one's got 2 names. But anyways, recorded those. They both went great. And I think the plan is to just go back every 8 weeks or so and record 2 more and just keep the cycle going. We have a lot of originals. That was the one neat thing about this band was the originals came fast and furiously.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot in the catalog already
Yes.
to pick
Even
from.
ones we've dropped.
Nice.
Even ones we've dropped, yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the songs that we wrote at the very beginning were ones that were dropped because now we're kind of in the groove where we're finding our sound. So some of the original ones would sound like one of our influences a lot, but we've kind of started getting those out and we have our own thing going now, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, it is really neat how we've kind of figured a way out of taking everybody's influences and just kind of making them all work into one song instead of, one song's influenced by just Aaron or one song's influenced by Chris.
Yeah.
And that, I love that about this band. It's that there's so many influences flying around everywhere and it's just starting to work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that's like just the start, though, right? We're gonna keep going there, recording all the songs that we have, and then hopefully find another sound to go with. Start
Yeah.
over again in a
Yeah.
way. But yeah.
Speaking of Grohl, we're going to cut to that song in a second here, but can you tell us a little bit more about the lyrics behind Grohl? And it is definitely Grohl, though.
It is. Yeah, sound the alarm, grow. But sound the alarm started with just, thinking about what if the world comes to the end, post-apocalyptic thing, going down into your shelter, you hear the alarms, like, woo, something like that, right? And you got to go underground. That's like the hook.
Awesome. Let's have a listen. So we talked previous about the recording process, and you said you were doing the 2 songs at a time kind of thing. Why do that as opposed to the typical 8-10 song album that people are? Is it?
I think
part of the trend. Is it easier to manage?
Keeps you viable.
It keeps
Yeah.
you. It keeps you more in the front and in people's minds. One of the ideas nowadays with everything on the interwebs is you release songs on your own, and if we do it every 2 months, where there's suddenly a new single, or once a month or whatever, there's a new song, keeps everybody's interest. Whereas if you release a 10-song album, everybody buys it, they listen to it, and then it kind of goes away. Whereas this, you're still front of mind with everybody. You release a song, a few weeks later another song, and everybody's like, wow, they're so prolific. It's the same amount of songs as in an album, but you're releasing them every few weeks, and then people hear something new, and it just keeps it more interesting for everybody.
Well, I guess it's attention span is right to the listener.
Yeah, absolutely. These days, yeah.
Plus, you can pick, your third single you release. Someone finally hears that, and then they got 2 singles to go back on, and it's a little bit of something there
Yeah,
too.
it takes the pressure off, I'm sure, as well.
And not to say we might not ever put those on some type of album or like vinyl or cassette, CD, whatever it is. We just felt like, you know what, let's record the songs, as many as we can, and then we'll decide what we want to put into a physical form.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it'll all be on Apple Music and Spotify and everything like that, so it'll keep it fresh for people as well. We can send a blast out and let everybody know the new song's up, and interesting.
I mentioned that a lot about the whole social media aspect and how important it is to, and I guess doing this, like you said, keeps it fresh as well. Constant rotation. Who does your social media? Do you have anyone in particular? You all kind of
We tried.
everybody was up their hand at once.
So here, shout out to my daughter Lindy.
Thank you, Lindy.
Thank you, Lindy.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, my 17-year-old daughter has now taken over our Instagram and everything like that. She just put up the new page about a week ago. She's great with all that, and she loves the band, so it's fantastic. Thank you so much for the help, and that way it stops us from being cringe. She'll say, "No, don't put that up. Here, I'm gonna put stuff up for you."
Yeah, but instant editor.
Instant editor.
Yeah.
She'll tell us what's cool and what's not. She knows.
Let's talk a bit about the studio here, because you have such an amazing spot that we have used this several times for the show. And but do you want to give us a little bit of the history and the Coles notes of the Just Some Noise Studios here?
I mean, Just Some Noise here started with just an idea and a vision of giving bands somewhere to practice. I mean, you can go into a recording studio and pay boatloads of money to go and record, but where do you practice? Not everybody can practice in their house. Not everybody has, people live in apartments. People live, their wives don't want them there. Their neighbors complain.
The band in person.
Or the combo thereof.
So I just wanted to bring somewhere. I was tired of talking to people out in the scene and saying, we tried to start a band, but we had nowhere to jam. And, there's a lot of good musicians in town. And I thought, you know what? I've got some money put away. I'm gonna start building and see where it goes from there, and try and just expand as it grows. And it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm having a great time with it.
It is
a lot
so
of bands.
fun. I remember when you started it too.
Yeah.
Getting some help from the band.
Everybody,
We all came
everybody in
together.
this band was such a
Everyone
help in
contributed,
building. Everybody was slugging drywall. We were, painting everything. We had a party out of it though, and it's kind of like we, Vic, too.
Yeah.
We built a little family here that it just. Now it's becoming, and I love it. We come here, and the other bands, we all hang out together and talk and bounce ideas off each other, or hey, that's a wicked new song, things like that.
Good times, mate.
Yeah.
Definitely good memories.
So yeah.
So there, you have 3 rooms?
I have 2 hourly rooms and
Okay.
2 monthly rooms right now. Looking at expanding one of the hourly rooms, making it larger, and adding another monthly room. Hopefully within, probably the next 8 months
Nice.
is kind of in the plan.
All the rooms are fully equipped, ready to go. Bands just walk in. and-
Yeah. So you come in, there's guitar amp, bass amp, like backline, pretty much your backline when you show up at a show. Do have some options for cabinets, amps, things like that as well. And just show up, have some fun, and be as loud as you want.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a great spot. Truly, it's a great spot. Tell me, who came up with the Kill Death Radio name?
That would be Aaron.
Aaron.
Well, we were struggling with the band names. I think we almost went with like Go Mosquito or something.
Yeah, Go
There was a
Mosquito
lot.
was very, very close.
It was fun for a while.
That and a
could've
band
been a
name
stinger.
that we found out was taken by another band,
Yeah.
so we decided not to go with it
Well,
either.
I think Jay had a story too where he was in a band that was similar. Was it Kill?
Yeah, it was Kill the Radio,
Yeah.
just a little project I did with some friends.
And then the little project that I tried to start with one of my old band members was Kill Death, like Ratio kind of thing. And then
The video gamers.
Yeah, video game. He's a big gamer, but then after it just popped in my head one late jam
Yeah,
night,
we just talked about it. It was Kill
and it
Death
was like,
Radio.
Kill Death Radio. It's like, and everyone's eyes lit up like.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like Kill Death Radio almost sounded a little more metally than we were, but so we added the exclamation at the end, so it's kind of like Kill Death Radio. It became, yeah.
But that was good. Glad that we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
What did you guys listen to growing up?
Oh man.
Mars Volta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because you just said that because remember we talked at your first show. I was there and we talked about. You came up and you said, "What do you sound like? What do you think?" And that, yeah, definitely Mars Volta, Muse kind of a thing as well.
Muse,
Do you
yeah.
get a bit of that?
Mars Volta,
I grew up
Mars Volta,
listening to that.
Muse, Queens of the Stone Age,
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that kind of
definitely
thrown in a
do that.
blender.
Yeah.
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 But that's that's how I listen to it. That's
Yeah.
how
What
I
about
grew
you,
up.
Phil?
I don't know about
What's,
you guys.
Every era, man. There's the Pistols. The '90s were big.
Yeah.
Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and then then the Deftones, and then Mars Volta at the Drive-In.
Yep.
The Refused was huge with me, and I mean, right up to now, there's still like great bands coming out from in here in Canada alone, right? So it's, I find stuff in every era that's really good.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true, so true. Your live show, I was there, like I said, at the Queens. How important is it for you guys to have that interaction? There was a lot, like Chris was moving it forward, and it seemed like you, Aaron especially, you're really focused on entertaining the crowd and putting a little bit of
guitar too. I was
a little
like
bit of a
singing and
yeah.
I think for me, it's easy to have fun with them. Really, that's it. It's just fun. When you get on stage and Aaron, he's pretty animated, and it's fun. So I don't really think of it as like I'm trying to
no.
Yeah.
put on
Well,
a show for people. I'm just having fun.
The
I've
show
always
that-
been of the belief that you kind of do have to put on a little bit of a show, though, and I think we do. And part of it is people have paid money to see you, so
Yeah.
that you shouldn't just stand there, doing nothing. Like you gotta, and I think that's part of. We've had 2 live shows now, and the reaction has been great afterwards. But one of the comments that we get the most is we've been really entertaining.
Yes.
Which I think is the whole point of it. At the same time, is you got to be entertaining.
I mean, it's a
And-
show. Right?
Yeah. And I think on stage with the 4 of us, there's something to look at no matter where you're looking. Something's going on. We're all interacting together. But at the same point, it's interesting to watch Aaron. It's interesting to watch Jay. It's interesting to watch Phil. And I'm over there. So it's all,
You're interesting, all right.
yeah, I'm interested too, I guess. But it just gives, I think I want to have the audience be entertained and not just kind of be like standing there and going, okay.
Well, we talked about that years
Yeah,
ago
years
too,
ago.
about bands that would show up and they, like I said, they look like they just got off work.
Yeah,
or
they just walked up there wearing whatever.
gas station job,
Yeah, yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
the case may be, and it looked like they're there to fill in the time as
Yeah.
opposed to.
Be there to entertain
Like I said,
and be a
people are paying for that.
professional, right?
Yeah.
I've always been big on being, when you're there, you're a professional. This is you're there to entertain and do all that and have fun. And I think the great thing about this band is we have a lot of fun, but we're still entertaining.
Yes.
And it's a very reliable group of musicians. Where
Yeah.
on
Yeah, I
stage, you
must
don't
say
feel like
that.
someone's about to drop.
Right.
Like we were last night was our second show, and you tell people it's their second show, and they have a hard time believing that we
Yeah.
have to staying together for like a whole lot of
Well,
shows.
yeah, well, you're all experienced musicians as well, and there's a lot of maturity that's brought forth with that, and you guys all understand the crowd's point
Yeah.
of it. As
Yeah.
that they're,
But I mean, it all
they're-
starts
they're-
with- on
They paid
stage,
money
though.
and they want to see part of a show or a show.
Yeah,
so.
and we're able to rely on each other on stage, I think is what
Yeah.
Phil's saying. Like we know we have each other's back and that we can rely on each other up there.
But it all starts
Don't
with a
have to worry.
great drummer, Phil.
Starts in the back.
Starts
yeah.
at the backbone.
guys mentioned the word fun a lot and family kind of thing, and I think that's so cool that you guys are able to be able to do that. Any long-term plans for the band? Anything?
Get out, play more gigs, record
Yeah.
more songs, write more songs, have more fun. That's it.
That's it.
Get something on the radio would be nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
More people hear us, more
I
people
mean,
come to the
once
shows,
we
more people have
master our
fun.
tunes, we'll put them up on streaming
Yeah.
services and
when do you think those will be
start
done?
throwing them at
Any idea?
contests and crap like that.
The final mixes just came back, so now we're just waiting on mastering.
Okay.
And then it'll be released to the world.
Yeah. Can't thank you guys enough. Especially, I know you just finished late night last night, but I
Yeah.
really appreciate you guys doing this with us today, and thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Always a
Cheers.
pleasure.
All right.